I'm Phil Lord.
Hi, I'm Mike Rihanna.
And I'm Chris Miller.
We're going to take you through the Furby fight scene
From the Mitchells versus the Machines.
shot by shot.
The Mitchells run into the Toy Emporium to stay safe.
They go into Joy's Toy Emporium, and Joy was one of our modelers. We found that the darker the scene was, the funnier it got.
It's shot like a horror film, which I think is great.
What was that?
This is the realization of a dream Mike Rianda has had.
This comes from a real life terror. I had a Furby growing up and I didn't like it, so I tried putting it in the closet and it kept talking. I'm working out these emotions on a large scale with a very talented crew. This is like actually one of the first scenes that we got so excited about and were laughing so hard about in the room.
One of the main jobs we all had was to find a way to justify it in the story.
This seemed like a scene while we were writing it that was like, okay, well, this will clearly never go in the movie, but wouldn't this be funny? As the movie became more and more real, it was like, oh my God, it's actually happening.
This is the actual Furby song that they sing.
I believe we got a choir of professional musicians to sing the Furby song.
For all the characters, we do these drawings that are really detailed, and then we do a painting of the drawing, and then we give it to the studio to model in 3D. For the Furby, we just gave them a Furby. We said, here, can you model this? And they're like, oh yeah. It's funny, if you could see Rick's jacket in this scene, one of the producers was like, that jacket is the most expensive prop in the history of the studio. Because it has so much detail on it, we were really adamant that it be wrinkled, and that always cracks me up because it's such an easy thing in live action to just have a jacket, and then CG, it's like oddly expensive.
And then the idea of the world's largest Furby, which makes no sense.
Why would someone build that?
I believe this Furby is voiced by director Michael Rianda.
It can only be.
I'll give you a little taste of that. The Furby can shoot out a giant laser. Some have questioned why, which is a great question. It's funny, in the background of that scene, you could see Rick doing the don't go back gesture. One of the animators added that in, which I thought was really funny. But Linda's like so big-hearted, she has to go back, even if it's a robot, because she's already bonded with it.
Are you now my mother?
Sure.
That line was improvised by Beck Bennett, who is hilarious and plays Eric.
This scene here, we did 70 different versions of this ending.
This was like one of the hardest parts in the movie to nail from a storytelling perspective, because if the family's too successful here, all the drama is taken out of the end of the movie and you feel like the movie's over.
You know, the way to make these things stay in the picture is they have to mean something to the story of these characters and their relationships. So one of the big tricks of this whole mall scene was, how do we make it do work in the story about the relationship between Katie and her family? And of course, they come up with a very Mitchell's way to solve this.
You want to come after my family? Then I'm gonna take you down!
And this joke always gets a big laugh.
He had a pretty solid plan, except he really underestimated how large the Furby was.
We got your back, honey.
Literally.
We're not heavy enough.
Mother!
And here, the robot that was saved by Linda, when you think, why would you go and save a robot?
Because they might need to save you back.
This effect I really love, the sort of multicolored robot beam, and that little pal exploding is like a 2D effect. If you freeze frame that, it's really cool. One of the artists just did this black and white still frame, and then they put one frame of it in there.
Thanks, guys. Nice work.
Thank you, Mother. We are now your beautiful baby boys.
We put a lot of love into it, so we hope you guys love watching it as much as we love making it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the Netflix Film Club channel to get our latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.